My name's Lee Green and I'm commercial manager here at Airco Training. And basically what I do here is I look after partnerships, if you like. So I look after partnerships, fantastic partnership that we have at the moment with North Lindsey College. So I'll leave that information on that partnership till a little bit later on, because we've got some of our tutors and our quality manager, Carl White, to talk to you about that. But I look after partnerships with employers as well. So anybody that applies here will obviously need an employer to work with from an apprenticeship point of view. So that is where I come in as well. So that's part of my role. Airco Training itself then. So I'll give you a little bit of a background on Airco Training then. So obviously Airco, the main business, has been around for years. It's been around since 1991 and it was started by a chap called Neil Fisher. And for those of you who are from this area, you may well have seen us as you come in on the A63 towards Smith and Nephew. We're just on the left-hand side. And for some parents who are watching, you might remember when we moved into this building in 2015, for many months there was a blimp until vandals cut it and it flew away. But anyway, we won't go there. So yeah, basically, it was 2015 when we moved into this building here that Neil Fisher decided that we would bring the training, sort of apprenticeship training, in-house. So we were originally sending our apprentices to different colleges around the area, around the region, to get their apprenticeship qualification in refrigeration, air conditioning and heat pump. So for 5 years now, we've been training in-house our apprentices. But more importantly, and something that you guys need to be aware of, is we don't only, Airco Training, work with Airco anymore. We actually work with lots and lots of different employers across the region, training their apprentices as well. So a lot of the time people get confused and they think that when they apply for an apprenticeship at Airco Training, they are just applying for an apprenticeship with Airco, and that's actually not the case. So Airco themselves probably take on 6, 8 apprentices a year, but actually we have much more capacity than that here because we work with many different employers. So that's a little bit of info for you on the difference between Airco Training and Airco, the main business. So what I will say at the very beginning here is if you do have any questions, there is going to be some time at the end for our quality manager and for our tutors to field any questions about the qualification or what it's like to be an apprentice or what other qualifications we offer here. So on this sort of open event today, we've got myself, we do have Carl White, who's our quality manager, and we have our tutors. We've got Julie Shave, who's coming up next actually, and we've got Pat Walsh as well. Okay.
Hi, I'm Julie. I'm primarily the tutor for the study programme, but I also work with my colleague Pat on delivering the apprenticeship programme, and that leaves us very well placed to actually promote and tell you a little bit about why the study programme is so important towards an apprenticeship. It's quite difficult at 16 coming out of school, and even more so now in this current situation, because it's difficult to get a really high quality apprenticeship without any additional training. One of the reasons for that is that it's in terms of work placement and also training skills. On an apprenticeship, you are required to have what the knowledge, skills and behaviours. So the theory bit is the knowledge, the practical bit is the skills that you get out there at the work, but also the behaviours are really important because they're the ones that will make you employable. You might probably know them as transferable skills. And so what we try and do on the study programme is actually mirror those and evidence those skills. So you are in the best place to actually make yourself employable. Really important in this region at the minute because the apprenticeships that we offer actually support what's known now as the energy estuary. The Humber is a massive centre for green energy, and there are lots and lots of different companies who really want apprentices who are multi-skilled. So the study program is, if you like, a foundation. It's the start of maybe a learning journey that may well take you anywhere in mechanical engineering. So the study program really gives you this preparation, not just in knowledge and skills, but also in these really incredibly important behaviours. What we try and do is that we look at different elements that of mechanical engineering so that you can make a choice. So these will be generic areas, so they will be things like extensive health and safety, as I've alluded to in terms of green energy, environmental awareness. We also look at different career opportunities that you may have in the roles and responsibilities in mechanical engineering. And more importantly, in terms of knowledge, we look at things like the scientific principles underpinning mechanical engineering. In terms of practical, we look at refrigeration, aircon and heat pump systems, electrical, heating and ventilation, and plumbing. So although you get a little bit of everything, what it does do is help you make your mind up as to what area you might want to go into or perhaps specialise. I think it's really important to emphasise what Lee said about other companies and about being multi-skilled. So, for example, we don't just take apprentices for electrical, in electrical companies or in refrigeration aircon companies, or even plumbing and heating. What we do is we often take companies that require apprentices that need multi-skills. So that might be something like facilities management. So really, in terms of evidence in how successful the study program is, certainly since I've been at Airco training, and in the last 4 years, I would have said 98 to 99% of our cohort on the study program have actually gone on to the progression choice that they wanted in the first place. I think it's important to say that we cannot guarantee an apprenticeship, but we do our very best to support you in whatever progression pathway that you want. So just a little bit then about the actual study program and sort of logistics wise. So it's 3 days a week. Usually it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but obviously with the current situation, and as Lee said, it may be that it's slightly different. It could be some remote learning as well. It's 9 to 4, you get breaks, lunch times. 10 months the course is it runs from September to the end of June. And you also have other elements that we try and extend your knowledge. So we do many events, and that's things like the Women into Manufacturing and Engineering events, East Riding apprenticeship events at Bishop Burton. What we try and do is take you and let you experience those, and you can become involved in them as presenters or and being there to represent Airco training. This is really important for a CV because it shows exactly what you can do other than, if you like, the world of work. The other thing that's really important as well is that you are talking to other people. So in terms of customer service, any employer is going to want you to have some experience of customer service because you are, after all, if you like, the face of their company. The other things that we have is a work experience or a work placement element. And what we do is that when our apprentices, and when I say ours and other companies' apprentices come into college for their training, the study program actually backfills an actual apprentice role. So you are actually getting some work placement experience, which is of value, and you can actually get involved in a company.
Hi everybody, I'm Pat Walsh. I'm the refrigeration air conditioning tutor here at Airco Training. I also work heavily with the study programme. We offer 4 apprenticeships in the summer. They will all be level 3s. So the first one is installation and maintenance for electrical. That's a 4-year course. Refrigeration air conditioning, which is a 3-year course. Plumbing and heating, which is a 4-year course, and maintenance and operation engineering technician, which is another 3-year course. We'll talk briefly about how the apprenticeships are set out. So the fridge and aircon one starts with health and safety. All apprenticeships will start with health and safety. You can't avoid it. It's very important to cover that. Then we'll move on to the theory, do all the theory element, which will involve tests as you go, a review at each end of each theory session to make sure you understand the information. Then moving on to the practical elements of the course, which also involve assessments and assignments as you go through them. Lee briefly mentioned the F-gas rigs. As part of your course, you do your F-gas. F-gas is a qualification you need to work with refrigerants. It's very similar to the old Corgi, which has now been replaced by Gas Safe for plumbing and heating engineers. So you'll get your F-gas qualification, which allows you to do the job. The blocks at college will be 2 to 3 weeks, with a break of a month to a month and a half, depending on where you are in the programme. Also, in between your breaks at college, you will have monthly assignments to complete. We need to do these because for the qualification, you need to have 20% of your time off-site. So you need to have 20% of your time as theory in the college or carrying on theory work at home. At the end of the course, we have a gateway to the endpoint assessment. This is a sit down with yourself, me as your tutor and your employer, and we discuss everything to make sure you've got the skills, knowledge and behaviour to pass on to the endpoint assessment. The endpoint assessment is a new thing set up for apprenticeships where it involves a theory test, a large practical element, and yet another sit down called professional discussion. That's the way apprenticeships work now. I'll keep it short and sweet, so that's all from me, but thank you very much, and hope to hear from you in the future. So,
I'm Lisa Morgan. I'm a tutor here for Airco training. As part of my responsibilities, I look at giving support to all of the students, both on apprenticeships and for further education, looking at career support and employability skills, so helping with CVs and interviews. Everyone will get a one-to-one interview, and there's availability pretty much all the time throughout the academic year, where they can have like drop-in sessions. They'll have tutorials with their specific tutor, so whether that be looking at electrical or refrigerant air conditioning. We have group sessions where external employers are brought in. They may have external training opportunities. So we try and put together a package so that we're offering as much as we can in the way of support in lots of different ways. Okay, so the further education programme is aimed at progression into lots of different avenues. So the qualification is access to building services. So they get a range of units that they look at. So that could be air conditioning, electrical, plumbing and heating. So the first progression might be to move into an apprenticeship in one of them areas. Other progressions would be to move on to a college or potentially even university course, so where they could get a more in-depth qualification and specialise in a particular area. Some will go straight out and maybe go into employment and don't need the assistance, or it's not right for them, the apprenticeship itself. And some may move into apprenticeships, but in other areas, so it might be outside of the building services qualification that we offer.
My name is Kevin Papage, and I'm doing a air conditioning and refrigeration apprenticeship. I've always enjoyed engineering in all forms. I've come from a family of engineers, so I thought I'd try my hand at engineering myself, and so far I've really been enjoying it. I feel like every day when I come to work, it's always something different. You always get to learn something new. and that's what engineering's about, and yeah, I really enjoy it. I feel like air conditioning and refrigeration engineering is not been very well looked into by a few candidates, so I feel like we should encourage people to look into it. It's very interesting. You do different kinds of work every day in different locations, so I do encourage it a lot. Hopefully I can become a sort of senior engineer or management, and or I can help other young engineers work towards their goals, help teach them, help build them up. That would really be great for me.
I'm Kate Smith and I'm on the refrigeration and air conditioning apprenticeship. I started, through college I did health and social care, uni I went and did social work, and it just wasn't for me and I wanted to be hands-on, so I decided to do this instead. I have family in Airco, so decided to give it a shot and ask about the apprenticeship here. It's different every day, you're constantly learning new things and working in new surroundings on new equipment, so it's very varied. You can't really say how it is week to week because it is different all the time, but you're usually working with an engineer or two engineers, and there's a lot of learning to do and a lot of different things to see. So yeah, I'm positive about my future and I hope to move higher up within the company once I'm qualified, maybe into management or maybe even teaching with it as well.
My name's Solomon Singh. I'm studying Access to Building Services Level 2 Diploma. We do a lot of theory and like health and safety, and then practical, like learning a little bit about everything, so you always know what you're doing. I went to Kelvin, and as soon as I left I always wanted to go into engineering. Yeah, I'd recommend Airco, it's a good place to come.
My name's William Harns and I'm studying Access to Building Services. I got told about it by family and it was really interesting, so I decided to apply. Well, the facility's quite good. Not really had any problem with anything, to be honest. Well, I hope to go to an apprenticeship and start earning money in what I'm doing now.
My name is Lewis Melvin and I'm studying for a Level 2 Diploma in Access to Building Services. I chose this course because I think it would be a great indication to get a bit of general knowledge on everything, because we do a bit of electrical, plumbing, heating, so I thought it would be a good idea for me to experience a bit of everything to decide what I want to do. I think it's been great. I'm really enjoying it at the moment. Obviously, it's a shame that it's been a lot of it's done from home because of COVID, but I think it's great. Yeah, I'd love to do more, and I can't wait to see what's in store for the future. Well, I was at Wolferton. I've been there since year 7. I heard about it through online. We did an open event in my school, so Lisa came in, we had a conversation. She told me about this course and I thought it'd be a great idea.
Lewis Michael Burt and Access to Building Services. I wanted to learn all the different types of engineering there is and have a wide range of opportunities at the end of it. We've just started doing practical, where we're doing working at heights, manual handling. We do a lot of theory as well for the health and safety side. I'm hoping to be an electrical engineer for working for whatever company, and just the course itself is helping me get there, teach me new stuff about engineering.